Okay, we're now live. Good evening for December the 1st, 2020 for Pinoyathletics Track Talk Tuesday. So mainly tonight we're going to be discussing our virtual women's 60-meter event that we're starting this coming week. We'll be discussing details on that and prizes awarded from that from our sponsors. Just run me the slides. Here we go. Okay. So these are the statistics for our website for the month of November. We had a record 52,772 page views from 35,873 subscribers. Most particularly what we're going to be discussing is the virtual women's 60 meters, which, as you can see, has generated quite a huge amount of interest, with 15,308 people visiting the article or the promotion of the virtual women's 60 meter event, from 5,317 viewers. So we had over 33,000 Facebook followers. We exceeded the 33,000 mark. It's going to be a very hard task for December getting to 60,000 page views, because that's basically 2,000 a day, and usually we're averaging over 1,000. So it's going to be really difficult to get to, like 2,000 a day unless we have a viral spike in traffic of web viewers at some point. But like eventually we'll get there. Okay. So this is my updates on the Pinoyathletics Dash for Cash virtual women's 60-meter run. We have 8 entries so far. Actually, we're going on 9 entries, as I've got 8, almost 9 confirmed now for this event. We've extended invitations out to another 6, 7 people that we're yet, we're yet to receive an answer from, but we basically got enough to start the event. We will be having a maximum of 20 entries in this event, so we will not be accepting more than 20 entries. Entries for the event will close on December 5. For more information on the event, visit the link below, pinoyathletics.info, virtual women's 60 meters. So we'll discuss the event in further now. So the prize for the virtual women's 60 meters will be $100 to the winner for the fastest time of this event. This $100 will be provided via PayPal, 50 from Pinoyathletics and 50 from our sponsor Masiv Sports, which will go to the winner of the virtual women's 60-meter dash. The virtual women's 60-meter dash is open to anyone, but the prize pool will only go to Philippine resident athletes. International athletes are welcome to join. However, they will not be eligible for the prize. The prizes to the event is to promote local Philippine athletics. So yeah, our sponsor is Masiv Sports, it's a clothing brand, so shout out to them. And we're very much grateful and appreciative that Masiv Sports has come on board with this and is also making a huge effort to help promote Philippine athletics during these difficult and trying COVID times, supporting Pinoy Athletics' initiatives to try and uplift and motivate the sport. All right, so we have 20 entries. because we have 23 singlets to give away. That's basically why we've limited this event to 20 entries. The singlets we're giving away are the following 6 designs pictured on this, pictured in front of you right now, being provided by Masiv Sports. These singlets retail for 700 pesos each, but we're giving these away to the 20 participants of the Pinoyathletics virtual women's 100-meter dash, 60-meter dash. Sorry, 60-meter dash. The virtual women's 60-meter dash will be receiving free singlet. 700 worth 700 pesos each. That's not just for the winner, but that's basically for all the participants. So the sponsor has agreed to give these singlets out for free. The only catch is that they have to either be picked up in Manila or for them to be sent by LBC. It's going to cost 170 to 200 to send these singlets out, unless they get picked up in Manila or whatnot. But we'll see what we can do about that when we get to it. But for now, we have singlets with 700 pesos being given out by our sponsors in support of this event, which again we are very appreciative of. Next, the benefits of this meet. So $100 will be given to the winner by PayPal. There'll be 20 entries max, so there's a free singlet exclusive with shipping or pickup in Manila, as per the last slide. This is supporting women's athletics in the Philippines, so it's to really uplift and to encourage and motivate athletes during these difficult times to stay engaged in the sport. The beauty of the 60 meters is that it can be incorporated into existing training programs. Like this can actually be ran on other surfaces, which I will explain in the next slide. This is also good preparation for the National Open, which according to the statements of Philippine Track and Field, PTAFA, to the media, media releases, is that it's going to be held at the end of March. So presumably it goes ahead at the end of March. This virtual meet will serve as good preparation for that, because otherwise, athletes will be, going out and competing with no prior meet leading up to this. So again, our entries are open until December the 5th. So you can post entries to pinoyathletics@gmail.com. What we require is name, your venue where you're going to be actually doing this event, the type of surface, 100-meter best time, and also date of birth or age, because this event is actually limited to 15 years old and up. So it's an open meet. We're not having a kids division or anything like that at this point. So it's open age meet for 15 years and up. If this goes well, we're going to have a men's version of this for the 60-meter dash in January with a similar setup, hopefully with the same set of sponsors on board. The next screen. So what we require as part of this 60-meter virtual run is we require a clear 60-meter dash video of the athlete running with a clear view of the start and a clear view of the finish. This is because we will be using Kinevia to extract the times off a video. We will not be accepting hand time performances. We'll be forming like a little group to deviate and decide and audit what the actual performances are based on the video. It's like when I do most of my training, I really just use hand timing as a backup, and I usually get all my stuff videoed and I extract times from the video, as I find it's a lot more accurate than hand timing. It can be done on a track, a dirt track or grass field. Verification of accurate measurement may be asked for, usually with a measuring wheel. like the event of 60 because it's like some areas don't have 100 meters of straight track available, but 60 meters is a lot more accessible. So we felt that it was a lot more feasible as an event at this point, especially with athletes coming back into training for the nationals, and a lot of them being on short to long programs where you start with shorter distances and you move up to the longer, 1 and 2s, possibly 4s, like as you get closer to that big competition. So yeah, entries need to be sent to pinoyathletics@gmail.com. The deadline is December the 5th. So far we have 8 entries confirmed, and we'll accommodate up to 20 entries. We're actually on our 9th at the moment. Videos can be taken starting from today. So originally we were not going to take videos until the 5th, but now we will be taking videos from today. And the deadline of submission of videos will be on December the 12th. So videos can be emailed to pinoyathletics@gmail.com. We will only accept one video. Once you've sent in one video of you running the 60 and we've already found the video acceptable and we've gotten the times off the video, we will inform you, and we will not accept submission of further videos once we have one video which meets our criteria of having a clear view of the start and finish. We get a time off it. That is your official time. We will not accept second, third chance videos. So on December the 13th, we will play these videos on our podcast, get the times off the videos, run the videos from slowest to fastest time, and then announce the eventual winner of the Pinoy Athletics virtual 60 meters women's dash for cash, along with getting details to send out singlets and whatnot. So that will all be done by December the 13th, and we will plan ahead for following similar or transition type events after this. All right, so moving on, that information will all be uploaded onto Pinoy Athletics, and that will be one of our feature articles, so it'll be very easy to find on our front page regarding the Pinoy Athletics supporting women's athletics 60-meter virtual dash for cash. Now, events updated. So the Thailand National Open will be pushing through from December the 10th to the 13th. Now, Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia to some extent, and we haven't heard anything from Indonesia. These countries have all had their track meets, and they're already in the swing of holding track meets in preparation for the 2021 Southeast Asian Games. Obviously, meeting COVID conditions with less entries and no large crowds, they're already underway with their athletic seasons. Also, Australia has just put together their athletic timetable, and it'll be having meets from January 26th up until March. A lot of major meets starting on January the 26th, which might be worth looking into if the restrictions on travel from overseas have been lifted at that point. The Australian Nationals will be from April 12 to 21. Again, that's another very good meet if travel restrictions are lifted to attend, as it has a lot of high depth and high quality competitions across a multitude of events. Right now, the Philippine Nationals is at the end of March. It actually is a big fat question mark at the moment. Hopefully it's going to push through, as we've all got a lot of athletes preparing for that meet. But why I say is it a big fat question mark? Well, look at the other events at the moment. The Palarong Pambansa, according to the presentation I gave where I showed you letters from the secretary of the DEPED, they're not even sure with the IATF if they're going to be allowed to push the event through, and if then when it's going to be held. They have no venue and they have no exact date yet, and that came from the the undersecretary who's in charge of the Palarong Pambansa. There was no like concrete confirmation of that event being a definite at the moment. Then we look at the UAAP. That was initially supposed to be in April, but now it's not going to be until the second semester accordingly. So again, that's another IATF big fat question mark. So the fact is that other events are looking at moving to the second half of 2021 means that, how is the Nationals really going to push through in March if everything else is being restricted by the IATF? That's really like a big fat question mark at the moment. Yeah. So they were also, Philippine Track and Field was going to have starting their training camps in Jan or Feb, according to sources. Again, that's only next month, so we'll just have to see how that goes. All right, I'm going to do some shout outs in a minute after that. I'll present the second part of my presentation. So, righto, so shout outs, I guess. We're going to have a quick look at who likes our page, and luckily it's all love messages. There's no hate tonight. All right, so shout outs to MJ de Guzman, Cristobal Martez, former two-time SEA Games marathon champion, and now beginning her career as a coach. Hudson Emerson, and Jerry Supe, and Christian Kubilis, and hopefully some more. But anyway, the POC elections. So the POC elections just finished. So Bambol Tolentino was re-elected as the POC president with 30-22 over Clint Aranis. Hopefully they're not going to get in the habit of having a POC election every year, because, in 2019, Bambol won by 3 votes over Philip Wiko in the last election. So, hopefully they're not going to challenge him to an election again next year, because, POC elections are only supposed to be every 3 or 4 years. They're not supposed to have one every year. The vice president, so Al Panilio, defeated Philip Wiko 30-23 for the vice presidency. Second vice president and popular actor Richard Gomez defeated Ada Milby 31-22. Treasurer Cynthia Carrion Norton defeated Julia Camacho 27-22 votes. Auditor Chito Loizaga defeated Monaco Pontevelia 27-24 votes. Elected to the board of the POC was former SMAC director Dr. Raul Canalis, Pearl Menagillod, Charlie Ho of netball, and David Carter of judo. So that's all on the POC updates. Good luck to Bambol Tolentino and his continuation at resuming the business of running the Philippine Olympic Committee. All right. Okay. Okay. So now looking at, apologies there, just having a bit of PowerPoint issues there. Okay, so we've already done the top 10 Southeast Asian athletes of all time for Philippines track and field. It was a top 10 list. Now, this has been repurposed into the form of a SlideShare PowerPoint presentation, which is available on SlideShare. And it's now also available, we're now actually posting this as a video compilation on Pinoy Athletics videos, so that will be coming out tomorrow night. What we're working on and pushing out are similar projects, the top 10 female track and field athletes of all time. So that's not just at the SEA Games, that's at all meets over the last 100 or so years. The top 10 male track and field athletes of all time at all events over the last 100 or so years. The top 10 coaches in track and field in Philippines all time. So the greatest coaches in Philippine track and field in the history of the Philippines over the last 120 years. The top 100 meter runners of male of all times. So that's not necessarily just based on the times, but also you take into account the difficulties and the conversions because of the fact that, you know, some of the quicker runners are running on compacted dirt, you know, tracks, which are obviously harder to run quick times on. And of course, the very prestigious history of the presidents of the national training pool. Okay. So going viral at the moment, you know, more than 200 plus, 300 plus reads today is can Su Bingchen of China, the Asian record holder in the 100-meter dash with a PB of 991 and the Asian record holder in the 60 meters with a PB of 643. Can he win an Olympic medal in the 100-meter dash? One of the good questions we had, and also in regard to his American coach, Randy Huntington, that's really through good observation and, you know, research has actually transformed a lot of, you know, Chinese runners into, you know, almost medal candidates at these major meets. I mean, 2 guys from China now running under 10 seconds hadn't been done before. Now they've got 2 guys, him and Zheng Yi, running 991 and 997. So this article, which has a good video embedded of Randy Huntington talking about how he trained Su Bingchen, is available in English and simplified Chinese at www.pinoyathletics.info, Su Bingchen. So that is definitely very interesting and worth a read for any one interested in sprint training. It's a very, very, very good read. Okay, now moving on. So yeah, this is now available in Tagalog, in Filipino, and English. Why Milo is not a healthy drink? So basically, with some information that we have here, we're discussing, you know, why this isn't really a sports drink. Again, this is a very good read. It's on pinoyathletics.info. We've actually provided a Filipino version now, so it's, you know, more easily readable. All right. So there, yeah. So then we posted this because we were asked to post a caption on Tara Belaine, the Tarasaurus. So then and now, the Iron Lady and Tarasaurus. So before and now. Okay, next. So yeah, this is another one that a student sent to me. I'm not sure if I brought this up before, but it's DepEd's, you know, learning system when it comes to teaching about exercise and what bizarrely looks like a very strange interpretation of sports science. Basically, it's asking you to group things into, you know, 2 different sections. I think that's not really a very clear view of it, but I'll just read it out. Let us begin our trek to physical fitness. As you walk along the track, leave a print on your every step. The right steps indicate the skill-related fitness, so it wants you to put 1 set into skill-related fitness, and it wants you to put 1 set into health-related fitness. So these are what it had: agility, coordination, cardiovascular, muscular endurance, muscular strength, power, reaction, and time. Now, some of these things are really interchangeable, so it's basically trying to teach and differentiate, you know, things that overlap into black and white areas when they're not really black and white, because, you know, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Everything kind of slots together. It's not like apples and oranges on different sides. So, you know, and also imagine if somebody does this and they basically kind of know that, and then they point that out, or they, you know, they try and do that, then they're going to be marked wrong. The point is that, you know, the question itself hasn't really been phased very well, and that's a huge concern. with teaching. Okay, so yeah, so this is a very important message. I posted my shout out. I think it's very important that we acknowledge the people who got us where we were, and yeah, I'm just, this was a really good message, I felt, so that I'm sharing with the athletic community. Okay, next. So yeah, the World Junior Championships have been postponed till 2021. I was actually discussing this with the president of the ATFS, as I'm now the vice president of the ATFS. I had a conversation with him about this and various other things. Yeah, so the World Juniors has been rescheduled to 2021. So it's possible there's going to be a World Juniors in 2021 and 2022, because it's supposed to be in 2020 and 2022, but now they're going to have one in 2021 and 2022. Just like the Olympics, it's supposed to be in 2020 and 2024. So that you can have an Olympics in 2020 and Olympics in 2024. You're not having 2021 and 2024. You're not having an Olympics in 2021 and 2025, because that will just put the cycle of the regular Olympics years out of sync completely. This is regarding the World Juniors. So I'm looking at the events. It doesn't look like, in juniors, looking at the events, probably the closest qualifier we're going to have is in the men's long jump. Probably Elgin Gomez. He's jumped 7:52. He's going to be the closest qualifier out of all of these athletes. I can't see anyone locally who's going to be getting closer to these performances. Also, I can't see any foreign athletes on the radar who are close to these standards at this point in time. Unfortunately, because the World Junior Championships are now in 2021, that basically means that anybody who was born in 2001 who was eligible for World Juniors in 2020 is no longer a junior. So now you have to be born in 2002 and after to go to the World Junior Championships. This is another good point. These are the World Junior standards. Look at the World Youth standards, the World Junior standards, and you compare them to the Palerong Pambansa records. The Palerong Pambansa records in most events, and also the Philippine Junior records, are very far behind these standards. I mean, I'll write that down, because that's something that we should probably look at, is the Philippine Junior records versus the World Junior standards, and the Palerong records versus the World Youth standards, so we can actually get a better picture of how far we are. I mean, this is something that the National Academy of Sport should be looking at, because what they're trying to say is they want to produce world-class athletes. But again, how do you call athletes world-class? According to Tony Benson, what he said, which is probably the most accurate answer we're going to get to this, is to produce world-class athletes when the athletes are still in school or still young, is to produce athletes that qualify for World Juniors and World Youths. So we need to look at how far our national high school records are from World Youth and how far our national junior records are from the World Juniors, and work with that. And that should be the point of the National Academy of Sport, to help athletes get up to that standard and actually know what the standards are, and actually know what the comparisons are, and actually know how they're going to go about getting athletes to level up if the coaching knowledge and the skills are not fully available at that point. I mean, you can train athletes up, they qualify for World Youth or World Juniors, but then you're sending them to the UAAP rather than sending them to school in the US, where they're actually then competing against athletes who are at their level, instead of competing. If an athlete gets to World Juniors, or how do you say this? So they get to World Juniors or World Youth, the performance that they need to get that is going to mean that they're going to be performing better than anybody at the UAAP, which basically means if you're going to put them in the UAAP, once they have achieved world age grade standards is meaning that they're not going to have really any challenge. That's why the US or another country would be a better option for college if they get to those standards through the National Academy of Sport, because what's the point if they get to that higher standard and they're not challenged with athletes that can push them? Like, regardless, setting the, like, let's say setting the coaching level aside, what about the level of competition that these athletes are going to have if they make these sort of standards from the National Academy of Sport? Where are they going afterwards? They go to the UAP, they're going up against athletes that they're already ahead of. So where's the challenge there? Okay, next. Okay, so this is something that I was going to demonstrate, but there's a camera, I'm not obviously going to demonstrate it, but next time I'll probably do a demonstration or I'll record a video of this, because I think this is what's been asked a lot and it's very useful. Guidelines for applying ice to acute injuries. So my guidelines would be crush ice, place in a plastic bag, tie the bag. Don't apply it directly to the skin, otherwise it's going to burn your skin. Wrap with a towel around the injured area. So this is applying compression. So we look at rice. Rest, ice, compression, elevate. So elevate the injured area is next. So if it's your leg, you put it up so it's raised. Ice for 10 minutes. Remove ice, apply again for 10 minutes. Repeat every 3 hours for 48 hours. By then swelling, it should subside. Now, there's a lot of chain of thought that you should ice because your muscles will naturally produce inflammation, which will help your muscles heal naturally. You know, like, say for example, caveman broke his leg. Obviously, he had no access to a pack of ice because it wasn't around. Really, it wasn't accessible back then. So what happened is a caveman broke his leg or something, or he just had to wait for it to naturally heal. Now the key word here is wait. The problem is that with inflammation for a muscle or joint or whatever, that the thing is that the body will produce more inflammation that's actually really needed to recover the muscle. So, you know, it'll take ages to really heal up the muscle quickly if you let nature take its course. So therefore, ice basically assists relieving some of the excess inflammation that's being produced. So it's more for acute injuries. All right, so that's it. How many minutes was that today? Okay, half an hour. Just going back to, okay, so I do have a lot more material, but I'll probably just use that for next time. Stuff on Eric Cray, stuff on UAP data, stuff on the output of ranking each athletics coach, how many medals each of them produced individually at the last SEA Games. But that'll probably be for next time, or you know, article or other video of some sort. I'm now opening the floor to questions before wrapping up here. Obviously, we've covered a lot, and obviously, there's a lot more that needs to be discussed on the next edition of this. Yeah, so if anyone didn't watch this, then they can just like tune in next time to some of our. This will be replayed obviously on the Pinoyathletics page. Yeah, so that's it regarding the event. So yeah, do check our website out at pinoyathletics.info. Entries close on December the 5th for the virtual women's dash for cash 60 meters. Pinoyathletics sponsor supporting women's athletics in the Philippines. That closes on December the 5th. For the entries, videos to be submitted by December 12th. December the 13th, we will announce the winner and just play some of the videos with some feedback. Okay. All right. And of course, like on our Facebook videos, YouTube channel, which we're not really using that much, and um, website, we are providing a lot more new articles that are coming out. So just I suggest you bookmark us on your browser, so you don't miss out on some of these pretty cool updates when it comes to the sport of athletics, the Philippines and throughout Southeast Asia. Yeah, that's all basically for now. All right, so if there's any questions, feel free. If we can't answer them now, we'll answer them next time. I'm just having a quick look now at some of the in our inbox to see if we have any questions or any common questions that we can answer correctly. Obviously, there's just a lot of comments on our videos. I'm just seeing if there's any common questions that have been asked or anything like that. Not really. Okay. Cool. So, yep, that's all for now. So take care, everyone, and good night.